Hi everyone, welcome to Red Dog Gamer. Today I'm going to be showing you the best and easiest way to farm runes in Elden Ring that can be accessed quite early on in the game, and also an easy way to defeat one of the latter game bosses that can net you over 500,000 runes straight off the bat. To start with, we need to head towards Lernia of the Lakes, and this is after defeating Godric the Grafted. And what we need to do is warp to the site of grace called Folly on the Lake, and this is the quickest route to get to the Rose Church. And then we make our way over to the Rose Church and speak to an NPC there called Face Var, and that will start the quest line that we need to complete to actually get to the location that allows us to farm the runes and also access the boss that allows us to net those 500,000 runes. This is where you'd see the NPC, the Face Var, in front of the church. Unfortunately, due to the questline being completed on my game, they're no longer there. However, when you speak to them, you have to go through the dialogue and select the top option, and then you'll be given 5 festering bloody fingers, and these allow you to invade other players' worlds. What you need to do for this is to invade 3 players. Now it doesn't matter whether you defeat them or get defeated yourself, you just need to invade them, and then that will progress to the next part of the quest line. Once you've completed your invasions, you can go back to Var and she will give you a piece of white fabric that you then need to soak in the blood of a maiden. There's a couple of places you can do this, however for my run through I decided to go to the Church of Inhibition, and the easiest way to get there is to warp over to the Grand Lift of Dectis, which is found in the Bellum Highway, and that is between sort of Lernia and Altus Plateau. And the thing you need to be careful of if you do take this approach is that when you get towards the top of the hill, that just before the frenzied village, there's some casters on top of a tower that will inflict madness on you. I found that the best way to deal with this was to actually take them out, so you don't have to worry about it if you do get killed, and you're then free to sort of go back and not worry about that casting and not worried about any inflictions on your character. Once you get to the top, you can head through the frenzied village and out the back of that area, and then you head towards the Church of Inhibition. There is an invasion by Lord Vike that you need to be aware of. Quite a difficult fight, and so just be prepared for that. But once you get to the church, you are then able to see the maiden, and you can basically interact with her to soak the cloth, and then that completes that part of the quest line. Once we have the blood-soaked cloth, we would head back to the Var NPC in front of the Rose Church, give that to Var, and then we'll be given a Pure Blood Knight's medal that allows us to enter this mausoleum that we're in now. And this is where we access the rune farming location and also the boss that we can easily cheese to net ourselves over 500,000 runes. As you can see from the video, I wouldn't fight any of these enemies around here as they will just blow themselves up and kill you. So just avoid them, head up the flights of stairs and sort of continue round to the right until you find an entry point that you can go into. Once inside, you do follow the path sort of straight ahead to start with before arcing round and following it round to the right. And then if you keep heading sort of in that general direction, eventually you'll come to an opening that brings you out into the next place that we need to go to. At this point we can take this site of grace just so we can use this as a fast travel point, and also in case anything goes wrong on the exploit for the boss. But anyway, you would follow the path around, avoid the enemies to the left. On your game, if it's the first time you're trying this, the elevator will already be there, so you don't have to worry about pulling any levers. However, as I've already completed this, I'm having to use the lever just to bring the old mechanism thing down. And then once that is there, you would hop on the elevator, and that would take you to the boss location. I think you pronounce it Mog or Moog, Lord of Blood. Really difficult boss, but for the first part of this at least, all you need to do is run into the boss fight and let him kill you, essentially. The boss arena will be open, but you run in and you will just let him wipe you out. Upon respawning after being defeated by the boss, you would head back to the boss arena, and this time there will be a boss sort of fog gate in front of the door. Instead of going through that though, we would actually use these columns, these concrete pillars shall we say, and actually jump across to this wall that we're looking at right now on the right hand side. What that allows you to do, and it does take some time to actually do that, I think it took myself about 10 minutes to actually get that right, and to get onto that wall. You would then walk around the outside of the boss arena and drop into the arena rather than going through the cloud. And what this actually does is it allows you to walk up to the boss without the fight initiating, giving you free reign to launch attacks on the boss and deplete his health bar all the way down without actually receiving any damage yourself. If you use a gold pickled foul foot as well just before defeating the boss, then that enhances the amount of runes that you get. Plus there's also the option, if you would like to go and get hold of the golden scarab, which is an accessory that also boosts your rune acquisition. So that's also an option for you. Now that we've cheesed the boss and we've got a free 500 plus K runes, I'm going to show you the ultimate rune farming location. For this, we're going to want to head back to the main entrance for the mausoleum, which is where we came in when we used the Knight's Blood medal that we got from Var. And we're heading in the opposite direction now. I'd recommend for this run that you actually use Torrent. On the map you can see the point where we're trying to get to, but use Torrent because if you try and make this run on foot, you're going to have a hard time, pretty much get killed most times you try. So just stick to using Torrent and make your way around. You're heading sort of at northeast coordinates when you're looking at your compass, but you want to head round past the lava fields and keep going past all the enemies. Don't bother fighting them until you get to a grass verge. You then want to head up that grass area past the enemies again until you get to the back site of grace. You use this site of grace then to reset the world state, and then you're free to cheese to your heart's content the bird-like dinosaur type creature that's just peering over the cliffs. You can fire with your bow and arrow at this bird and he will ultimately fall to his death. You can rinse and repeat this by using the site of grace, and if you're using a golden scarab, this will net you 13,000 runes every time you do this trick. Within a few hours you can easily get yourself millions and millions of runes that you can use for leveling up, buying items, whatever you want to do. And this is how you do it. At this point I would like to thank you for watching this video, and if you did like the content and it did help you, please subscribe to my channel as I'm going to be providing a lot more to do with Elden Ring and other games.